And
Okay.
so Olushore, the spotlight is on you. So start the event.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you for taking out time of your busy schedules to join in this evening. My name is Olushore, and I'm the team lead at Dreamboard Initiative. Dreamboard Initiative is a not-profit organization that seeks to create opportunities for young people, to achieve their dreams, and we do so using education. And in light of the recent activities in the world, the educational system has been hit, one of the systems that has been hit badly. And, we just thought to ourselves, okay, what can we do to help parents? They're really struggling at this time. During the lockdown, it was, let me say, a bit easier because, everyone was locked in with their children. But now some parents have to go to work and the schools are not yet opened yet. So, we just thought to do something to inform parents as to what they need to do at this time to, keep their children engaged and not lose touch with school. And with me this evening, I'm sure we all know, is Kachi. Kachi is an educationist and a parenting consultant. She has been doing this for as long as I have known her, and she's good at what she does. Hi, Kachi. Thank you for joining us.
Hi. Thank you for having me on.
Okay, Kachi, please can you introduce yourself to us? Let's meet you from you. Let's know you from you.
Hello.
Yeah, you're on.
Okay, sorry, was that my internet? I just went off. Hello? I said, was that my internet? I just went off.
Yeah, that was your internet. That was your internet. I figured it went off and you came back on and then you were on mute. Yeah, that was your internet.
Yeah.
So you need to be sure about that.
So let's switch to another. Let's.
Yeah, I think you should. If you have a better one, you should. If you're using your internet, let me send you a link via the chat menu so that you can go to this website and let me know what it tells you. Yeah, so I just sent you a website now. Just copy it out and go to that link and let me know what it tells you. So Olushore, quick one. I thought you were going to allow do like a mini presentation and then you go into the Q&A. I thought that was supposed to be what it was going to be. Like you just introduce her, then she does like a mini presentation of the topic, maybe like 20 minutes. She just says her perspective of whatever you've asked her to talk about. And then after that you do a mini Q&A. That's what I think.
Okay. So what I mean, I know we talked about it earlier, but I thought that me doing like a small intro and then she introduces herself and then talks about her presentation before we now start the questioning.
Oh, okay, that's what you were doing. That's excellent.
Yes. So introduce myself, she introduces herself, and then like we now go into the presentation. Then we have like a few, maybe like 15 minutes for Q&A, and then we wrap up.
Excellent.
Okay.
Okay, so I've switched my internet. You were saying you put something in the chat section so I can check my internet strength.
Yeah, it's there.
Okay, can you put it up again? I can't see anything.
www.speedtest.net.
What'd you say?
www.speedtest.net.
Okay.
I sent it again.
All right, thank you.
I will also configure, okay, that's it. Then I wanted to ask, do you have a presentation?
Yes,
Do you
I
have a,
do. I'm so sorry. I was working on something else, so I had not gotten it completely ready. I have a mini presentation, not so much, just
oh, okay. So what I can do
5 minutes.
is, if you send me the PowerPoint slide, I'll have Shuri send you my email. Um, so I could
Okay.
share the screen for my end, and then I'll hand you the remote. I'll hand you the Zoom remote, and then you just control the slides from there by just tapping next, or I could tap next for you. Regardless, anyone is preferred. And the reason why I'm doing that is because I wouldn't want a situation where a third party participant can share their screen.
Yeah.
So I'll just turn off participants from sharing their screens and all of that.
Okay. Okay, that'll be fine. I'm on the speed test now. I think it's testing.
Oh, okay.
So sorry, just to confirm, the order is Shuri starts up the way she started now, and then introduces me, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Breaking
So
though.
I think what we should do right away is our advice that
Am
you
I
go to your
right?
office. Yes, yeah, yeah, yes. Our advice that you go
Hello,
to your
can you hear me?
we can hear
Okay.
you clearly. I was saying our advice that you
Okay.
go to your office right away, so we are certain that the internet is good in your office, because we are testing from a different location in your house and we are not certain of how good the internet is.
Okay.
The internet might not be good where you are, but it might be excellent in your office, and it might be vice versa. So why don't we
Okay.
just
So
use your
I'll
office?
mute.
Okay, I can do that for
I'll
you.
mute so because right, thank you.
Olusho, that sound is from me. Is that a fan?
Yeah,
You
but I
can't.
will turn it off. I'm gonna
Okay.
turn it off. Okay, are we good?
No, good.
I don't know what anybody is for me.
Okay, I'm in the office now. So
It feels
doing
like
the
your
speed
internet
test again.
it feels like your internet is even better from here, from what I can hear.
Okay.
So just run the speed test and then we'll go to the next phase.
All right.
I sent Tunji's email to you. I did that on WhatsApp.
All right, no problem.
Okay.
Excuse me. Okay, so it says, well, I'm not familiar with this, but download Mbps is 0.69, upload is 1.03, then PING is
You,
246.
uh, okay. That automatically says that your internet strength is not so good. What network are you working on?
Smile.
Smile. Ah, okay. That's amazing. Do you have what mobile network do you have available to you? The
Glow
MTN.
is much worse.
Ah, okay. Do you have MTN or
Nine mobile.
Airtel?
Nine Mobile is not valuable in Abuja. Let me put it that way. MTN, well, except I try my husband's line, I guess.
No, okay. We'll run with this. We'll run with Smart for now. But I mean, it is quite good. But I don't want an instance where your video is freezing, but your audio is smooth, because you also have people watching, so it might just be quite, and it might just take you off balance. Sometimes this kind of things can take people off balance when you are doing a presentation and then your internet message just fails. So it just takes you off balance, and then you're like, oh, can you hear me? Can you not hear me? Is everybody still there? So you really don't want that to just distort your presentation. So check the MTN, see which is better. But I mean, we can work with this for now. But if you can get something that gives you a minimum upload and download speed of 2 MB, that will be fantastic. So we just run the entire event from top again, and yeah. So in 3, 2, 1, Olushere, the spotlight is on you. So let's go.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining in this evening, for taking time from your busy schedules. How was your day? How was work? We are so excited to have you join us on our maiden edition. My name is Olushore Adefiore, the team lead, Dreamboard Initiative. Dreamboard Initiative is a non-governmental organization. What we do is to look for opportunities to ensure young people achieve their dreams, and we use education as our tool. You know, in light of the recent happenings in the world, COVID hitting everybody, systems are falling. And one of the system that is worst hit, especially in our side of the world, is education system. You know, we have children in school, parents in school, and during the lockdown, you know, it was quite easier, you know, because we had the parents and the children at home together. But now we have some parents have to work while the children are in school. Some parents don't have help. So how do we ensure that our children keep in touch with their education, their academics, even at this time? With me, I have a very brilliant mind. You know, I've known her for almost a decade, and she's phenomenal at what she does. Her name is Kachi Zimwan, and she'll be leading us this evening as to, you know, homeschooling and things that we need to know, and the strengths and things, how we as parents, both working parents and stay-home parents, how we can, you know, harness resources and tools that she'll share with us. Hi, Kachi, over to you. Thank you for coming. Hi, Kachi.
Our internet has gone off.
Oh,
Exactly.
but I can see her here though.
I can see her here. Our video is off, our audio is not available.
Yes. Okay, she's here.
Sorry, so apparently the internet is really terrible
Okay.
at the moment. I use it usually.
It's fine, it's fine. I mean, this is why it's good to have this kind of test runs,
Yeah.
because if you don't, you just make assumptions and then you don't.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's run. Over to you. Hold
Okay.
on. Hold on. Do you have me? I can hear myself back in your microphone. Is that like a speaker, an extended speaker, or that's your
No, there is
laptop audio?
my laptop audio.
Oh, okay. So it's just bouncing off back into the microphone. Okay, that's fine. Okay, over to you.
Okay, hello everybody. My name is Kachi. I'm an educator. and a consultant in parenting, like Shuri had said. Thank you so much, Dreamboard Initiative, for having me join you here. And thank you for this topic. It's a very, very essential one in this season. Okay, sorry, just to confirm, am I going on from here or?
Yes, you are.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you for having me, Dreamboard Initiative. It's a very crucial topic in this season. And I would like to discuss this on two hands. What's the word now? So sorry.
It's okay.
So there is a part of the working parents not having enough time, understandably so. We're busy at work with our meetings, we have deadlines to meet, we have projects to carry on, and then there's the children who are needing our attention. There's also the part of the school maybe not providing enough support or adequate materials, which is also a critical aspect to this. Okay, so let's start with we the parents. All right, first off, as parents who are working, now I say parents, not mothers, because a lot of times people believe it should be just the mothers. I like to debunk that. Parents, both father and mother. In fact, this cannot be achieved except there is a partnership between father and mother, and I'll get to that. Okay, so as parents, we have our own schedules and we have our own deadlines. First off, it will be better for us to make an inventory of our time. Okay, so this is a totally unique season. We don't know how long the season will last. So we're going to start off from what we have never done before in order to get our results. That is taking an inventory of our time. How many minutes will I need to spend with my children? How many minutes can I spare? What times are available to me? So for example, for me, my office work, I could push it to 9, 10 a.m. I realized that I could also do a lot more at night, stroke early hours of the morning. And so I pushed my children's bedtime. They go to bed by 8, and I'm working from 8 till say 10, completing the projects that are not, when I don't have meetings, completing all those tasks and projects from 8 till about 10, and then go to bed from 10. I wake up very early. I'm an early bird. I wake 4 o'clock. Okay, so you don't necessarily have to do that. Just do what works for you. I go to bed early and wake early. So I go 10 and wake 4, and I get enough rest. And so from that time, I'm doing my thing till about 8 in the morning when the children wake up. And then I've dedicated an hour, just to guide them on what to do, the task they will do for the day. So you can do that. Take an inventory of your time. Find out what times will be free for you. Find out what times will be productive for you. The times you could spend in doing some projects, okay? If we actually take an inventory of our time, we will find out that there's so many dead times in our day. There are times where we spend on social media, some on games, some on just being bored or just being, reluctant to do anything. You're just tired, So we have such dead times that we can utilize, okay? So if you take out time to do an inventory of your time, you will find some pockets of time for your children, okay? That's the first step. The second step would be, depending on the age of your child, you have to set your independence target for your children, okay? If your children are not as young as 0 to 6 or 0 to 5, if they're not as young as that, anything older should be able to accomplish so many tasks without you. So you will need to start training them to do so and talking to them about it. From the littlest things, as little as brushing their teeth, taking their bath. A 6-year-old, 7-year-old should start doing that on their own. So they get used to being independent. Going to bed without you, just having the good night talk, maybe downstairs, have your bedtime story. They go to their room, you say good night and you move. They don't need you to sit with them until they fall asleep. They need to start getting into independence, and it starts from the little things. Feeding themselves, making their own cereal as breakfast in the morning, fixing their snacks, okay? From the little things, they start getting used to being independent, okay? Everything ties up to one another. Before you go on to say, oh, you have this task, you need to complete this task, and I won't be there. I would love you to complete it yourself. And if you do that, you'll have better reward. I'll get to that. So before you get into, trying to get them to work independently, understand that everything about them, their entire life, will have to show independence. So don't just take their school, start working on everything that they can do by themselves. Get them to win them off you, win them off the nanny, win them off the aunties, just in case someone is not available. Okay, you don't want tantrums downstairs because an auntie went somewhere, and you don't want to be in a meeting all day and then come out and find your children didn't do anything. Okay, so win them off adults for as much task as possible. All right, that's the second step. Now the third step is having the children's timetable as well ready. Not necessarily the school's timetable if you're working with your school. If you're working on your own, I mean, there's so many apps and there's so many resources online that could help, but whatever timetable will have to come from you. It has to be something that works with you. So if the school timetable says classes resume by 9 and you've done your inventory and it's not possible, don't stress it. Don't try to meet up and say, oh, no, 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 no. You could talk to the school and tell them, look, my child resumes 10 or my child resumes 11. You could even reverse it actually and have them do the play in the morning and the learning later in the evening, maybe after a nap. So if you're done with work by 4 or 3, you can decide that the children will do some learning or some work between 3 to 5 or 4 to 6, 2 hours, a 2 hours period. And they do the learning and, life goes on. But you have to settle on a timetable, a schedule of some form for the children that works with your own schedule. Okay, am I in line so far?
Yes, you are.
Okay. So
yes, you are. And hold on, I don't think you need to run to the end, because if you run to the end, we will not be surprised by whatever information you're giving us tomorrow. So I think so far so good. It runs fine. So let's just do a demo of the Q&A session.
Okay.
Olushore, so you guys can have a Q&A session now. So just ask 1 or 2 questions. It doesn't need to be the valid questions they're asking tomorrow, because if you ask questions asking tomorrow, then okay. So Shure was saying, Kachi, can you share the app?
Share the app? Okay, that can be used. All right. So what will happen? Where's my phone now? I left it downstairs.
Sure, you ask the questions like you ask.
Okay.
Oh, okay. I'm sure that by the time she's done speaking, we'll have questions in the chat room. That's why I intentionally put this in the chat room, so that I can say, oh, we have a question from the chat room. That's why I did that. That's the logic behind.
Another thing that you do, Shure, is at the beginning of the meeting, you also mentioned that people can ask questions in the chat room.
Okay. I did mention that. I'll do that.
Okay, so you guys can go on.
Okay. Do I answer that or?
Yeah, please do.
Okay, so to answer that, first of all, I will put that up on the slide. So I'll just have a slide with apps, because I'm sure that will come up.
Okay, so you'll have covered that in your presentation.
Exactly.
Okay. I just got a question now from one of the participants. She says she's a banker. She goes to work. She resumes at 9 and comes back at 8 o'clock. By the time she comes back, she's dead tired and she doesn't have a help. How can she balance this? She has 2 children. She has a 5-year-old and a 3-year-old, and just her husband and her in the house. Her husband also works in another bank, and they have similar routine. So how can you help this participant of ours?
Okay, based on your scenario, if the husband and the wife are going to work, there's definitely an adult somewhere anyway, watching over the children, a 5 and a 3-year-old. The question is if the adult is literate enough to handle the task, or if the adult is, up to it, if the adult is not also working. In that scenario, first of all, don't put pressure on little children. That was why in the beginning I said 0 to 6-year-olds. Between 0 and 6, they have very little academic responsibility, very little. What they have basically is more kinesthetic things to do, meaning things with moving your bodies and all of that. And so all you need to do is focus on how much educational material, educational toys you have. If you will have them watch TV or they have devices, how much educational materials are on those devices, how many educational songs, educational rhymes, and all of that do they have available to them, because they don't have much work. If the children were older, between 6 and 10, that is where you would have to sit them down and then talk with them and negotiate and use your positive discipline skills, rewards, have stickers and all of that to try to motivate them to achieve tasks on their own. And then have a reward system where maybe during the weekend you're spending a lot of time with the child who's done so much or something, or you're going out together on a date with the child who's really been so good, or with all the children. So have some form of motivation for them over the weekend when you are a bit freer. And that would be.
Okay, so for parents who work from home, and trust me, work from home is it's not a walk in the park.
It's not at all.
It's a lot of work from home. How do we balance that as parents? So I resume work at 8 o'clock. I'm in one meeting or another meeting. I have to give presentations, and then I have my children in the house. Yes, now children, we're even seeing children between, say, 0 to 5. One of the older children, I have a teenager, I have a 10-year-old. How do I ensure, because this is not just for the younger children, we also have the teenagers in this demography. So how do we engage them while even still being fully at work while in the house? So you're at home, but you're not at home. You can't go into mommy's room because mommy is in a meeting. You can't knock on mommy's door because mommy is in a presentation. So where's the balance in there?
Okay, beautiful question. I'll tell you one thing that has helped me. It actually inspires your children when they watch you work. All the while you always say, I'm going to work, but they have no idea what you're doing. In this very unique situation, they are seeing you at what you do. And so for me, for example, I've used this opportunity to teach my children that work is something that goes on to adulthood. It's not just for children. And it has influenced. Recently, my son told me, Mom, I'm almost an adult. And I was like, you're just 6 years old. Where is that coming from? And he said, because he's working like an adult, he's, doing difficult tasks. He's working by himself. He's working on laptop, and he just felt like he's all grown up now, like mommy and daddy. That's having that effect on a teenager, because the issue with teenagers is they always want to be like adults. And so when they, sit down at task, do their work with the laptop, they will actually feel much more, proud about themselves and their achievements. So it works that way. It works always. You just let them know, okay, this is work time for everybody. Everybody in the house is working. So you're working on this, I'm working on this. If I'm able to complete my task, I give myself a star. If you're able to complete your task, give yourself a star. If you're able to do this, give yourself a star. Everyone is working together. And as for meetings, what I do when I have meetings is first I give the rule, you can't come in at this time, I have a meeting. But because I have some really young children who don't listen to rules, okay, what I do is their outside time coincide with my meeting time. So if I have a meeting in the morning, then their outdoor play for that day would be in the morning. If I have a meeting in the afternoon, their outdoor play will be in the afternoon. They just say, oh, take your bike, go ride. I don't tell them anything about meetings. I take your bike, have fun, ride. And then once they're gone, I'm upstairs having my meeting. That's it.
Amazing, fantastic. Thank you so much. Would
Thank
have
you so
loved to
much.
stay and take more questions, but time is never on anybody's side and we have to go. Some people have to go to work tomorrow. Some people have to sort out the kids this night. So thank you all for joining us. Stay tuned to our Instagram page. This is a recurring meeting. We'll be doing this on a weekly basis. So we look forward to seeing you same time on Zoom next week. Thank you very much. Bye.
Bye.